Talk 995, talk995.com. Criminal defense attorney Catherine Kyatt filling in for the vacationing Valerie Vining today, and she'll be back tomorrow, too. So there. It is 8:06, and it is the 6th of August. So 8:06, 8/6, 2026. Got a high today of 86. That's not true. It's 91. Got about a half and half chance of rain today. Tomorrow, Saturday looks like it's going to be a little bit more rainy. 60% chance of rain. By the way, I should throw in a plug for myself. Tomorrow night at the Song Theater in Columbiana, I will be the narrator for the Maverick Lounge series production of John Lennon. Basically, it is the story and music of John Lennon. Group of very talented musicians faithfully recreate John Lennon's songs on stage. That takes it from the Beatles, and there's kind of a medley at the beginning of a lot of his Beatles stuff, all of my favorites. And then you begin to break off and get into the solo stuff.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, the story of he and Yoko, and he and May Pang, and then he and Yoko again, and Julian and Sean, and how it all works together. It's a great production. We did it last month at the Ritz Theater in Talladega, and people loved it. So I'm thinking that the Song Theater, which is a little more intimate, it's a black box theater. It is gorgeous. If you've never been there, you should go. It's in Columbiana. You can look it up online. Maverick Lounge Series is one place that you can go, maverickloungeseries.com, I believe. And you can also just go to the Song Theater website and see if you want to buy tickets there. It's a really entertaining, informative show. If you enjoy the music of John Lennon, then you will absolutely enjoy this. And, of course, the the narrator is brilliant. He's funny, and he's informative, stunningly handsome. All right, 2 out of 3 is not bad. Let's talk about Mr. Bugs and how they can kill what bugs you. Mr. Bugs gets into your house and kills all the insects that are in there, if there are any. There may not be, because I get them every 3 months, and I still don't have a single living insect inside my home. I mean, I never have to worry about that, because these guys are so very good at what they do. They know, oh, you're in this section of town. Here's what we use in that section of town. Here's why we use that. It's safe for kids and pets. That's really important. I love that, because I have, grandchildren, and I have pets, and they both ramble around my house sometimes. The dogs always, the grandchildren sometimes. And then they also lay down a barrier outside to make sure that what's outside stays outside. And they know exactly what to put there as well. And then when you talk about mosquito reduction, and you talk about termite bonding and all of the things that go into play in all of this, and then they bundle it all together and give you one great low price. These are the kings to me of pest control. I've never used a better pest control company than Mr. Bugs. I love them. You'll love them. Give them a call at 941-6252 locally, 941-6252. If you're calling statewide, it's 844-MRBUGGS. Chicago had a bunch of government-run grocery stores. I will say they were government-subsidized grocery stores. They weren't exactly being run by the government. They originally had a plan for the government to run these grocery stores, to actually own the grocery stores, much like Mamdani is attempting to do in New York. And they backed off of that and said, wait, we're not good at running grocery stores. Why don't we get some people who know how to run grocery stores to run these things, and we'll just subsidize them so that the prices will be lower and people will be able to go get more of what it is they want at great low prices. The city spent $13.5 million on the stores. They're on the brink of closing. Some of them already have. They were meant to address food security and availability in what the city deemed food deserts. But this outcome should really come as no surprise, according to Bryce Hill, Director of Fiscal and Economic Analysis at Illinois Policy. Yeah, it's never worked ever. They did this in Kansas City. It failed. This was a 10-year contract that was set up with the Yellow Banana that was supposed to run these stores. 2 years in, they're like, we're out. We can't make any money. We're done. It's over. Now, part of the problem is, you had voters who were like, well, we thought they were doing this to help get food to people. I didn't understand that they thought they were going to make money off of this. And you're like, you don't understand the capitalist system, do you? There's not a company that's just benevolent out there that's like, we should do this to help get food to people, and it's okay if we lose money. They're like, you guys may want to subsidize this, but you're subsidizing us. We're the ones who are running the store, so we get the money, we lower the prices, and it all works out for the best, or it's supposed to. Of course it doesn't.
I mean, this really is not a rhetorical question, even though as I'm thinking about it in my mind, it probably sounds like a rhetorical question. But I just don't. How is that supposed to be better or make food more accessible than, say, like the EBT cards that are already out there, which I would think would be a whole lot more cost effective to do the EBT cards
Right.
at regular grocery stores than it would be to try to put a brick and mortar store,
Mm-hmm.
and then how do you weed out who needs it and who doesn't need it? I don't know.
These are all very good questions.
I think they're
Let me, because I do such a terrible job of explaining these things from the ground up. This is what Valerie is great for. She will stop me in the middle of something while I'm analyzing it and be like, "Hold on," and then she will explain how we got to where we are. So the story so far.
Yeah.
I'm really bad at that. So thank you for bringing this up. You're exactly right. Here's what Chicago did. They have areas where stores wouldn't go. They just wouldn't go. And they wouldn't go there for a number of reasons. Number one, crime. Number two, shoplifting, theft. I mean, crime is, people getting mugged on the way back out to their car. Shoplifting and theft is a lot of loss inside the store. You can't stay on top of it.
Sure.
And some of it is the people in that area could not afford the food that they were trying to sell, and consequently stuff would sit there and rot, and they would end up just having loss in terms of having to throw a lot of stuff in the dumpster. And then they just went, you know what? We can't do this anymore, and they would close. And now you've got a food desert. You got a whole area of Chicago where there's not a grocery store within 5 miles, and these people have to figure out how they're going to get to the grocery store that's 5 miles away, and they don't have a car.
Sure.
So they have to steal one, of course. And they go, just kidding. So
Halfway.
the city of Chicago says, here's what we're going to do. We're going to partner with this company, set up these grocery stores in these areas where they didn't want to be there because it wasn't cost effective for them. We're going to subsidize, and that way, we can pay for the security. We'll accept the losses if there's, theft or whatever. And we'll subsidize the cost. Instead of the bananas being $1, we'll pay for 30 cents of that, and the bananas will be 70 cents.
Okay.
And then people will be able to afford it. That's the thought process anyway. Now, you bring up EBT, and you're right. Frequently, the answer is give these people the money to go wherever the hell they want.
Well, but I
they
didn't
can buy
think
what they
about
want.
I didn't think about the food desert part of that. And I
Right.
do know that does happen,
Sure.
but I didn't think about that.
Absolutely. The interesting thing is one of the reasons these places are failing is that there's substantially fewer SNAP purchases than there have been in the past. And there's a good reason for that. Because when you have the money is being given to you. It's a supplemental nutritional program, right? The SNAP. The government is giving you the money. You go, well, I can spend this at the Publix next time I go there because it's free money. But if I want to spend my own actual money, I'm going to go to the government subsidized store and I'm going to buy what's there. And they carry different stuff. It's supposed to be like healthy food. You're going to find lettuce and bananas and fruit and, things of that nature. You're not going to find a lot of processed food there because they're like, you don't need the chips and the, Oreos, guys. That's not what we're selling here. We're selling quality, nutritious food to feed your family. Well, shocker, people in those neighborhoods, not crazy over the nutritious food, even when it's 30% off. So they take their SNAP cards, they go elsewhere, buy the Oreos and the chips, and they buy the 70-cent bananas at this store, but that's not enough to sustain it. And that's why they eventually are going out of business. And the government has just been forking money into this place hand over fist, throwing tax dollars at it as it is crumbling and dying. It's a system that's never, ever, ever going to work if you're going to have the government attempt to compete with the free market economy, because the free market economy is always going to win. Yeah. And that's exactly what's happening here. It's what happened in Kansas City, and it's what's going to happen in New York City, I guarantee it.
That really is a fascinating problem.
Yeah. Well, part of the problem is this. For instance, we recently had, oh, where was it? A Walgreens that was closing because they just said, we can't do this anymore. We're getting robbed blind. People are coming in here shoplifting like crazy. Yes.
San Francisco?
Was it? It might have been San
Seems
Francisco.
like that's right.
But it was. Oh no, actually, I think it was Chicago. Now that I think of it,
Yeah,
because
it might have been.
yeah,
It was one of those two.
because Walgreens was like, we can't do this anymore. We're shutting down, and they were one of the last actual stores in that area that people could go to. And you had city councilmen coming out of the woodwork. You can't shut down. How dare you? You're racist for closing down. Like, we're not racist. We're broke. We're losing money hand over fist. Our constituents, your constituents, won't stop robbing us blind. Nobody wants to come work here because they're getting carjacked on the way to their car every night. It's terrible. A friend of mine that owns the Applebee's in town closed the one in Center Point for the same reason.
Yeah.
He was just like, too many dine and dashers, too many people. I couldn't get employees to get here because they're terrified to leave this store after dark and walk across the parking lot. So if there are food deserts, you can blame the people who live in those food deserts for creating them.
I think I feel like, and I could be totally wrong on this. I feel like in San Francisco, they have the stores where, like, you basically it's a CVS or whatever that you'll go to the window.
Yeah.
And you'll tell them what they, so that way you don't have people walking through the stores and stealing.
This is a recent creation because
Yeah,
of that.
because of that.
It's just got so bad. It's horrific that we live in a world like this, and then you get people complaining like, I can't believe I have to go talk through this window. Well, talk to the people who have been robbing this place blind. That seems to be the real problem here. 8:17, got to take a quick break. Come back and do the three things. Don't go away. I don't remember what year this song came out. I do know that Tommy Shaw was not yet with the band. In fact, this is, I think, the first and last release that had the previous guitarist on there. Tommy was still playing with the Harmony Band down in Montgomery. But I do remember traveling in my mother's 1972 Buick Skylark, a vehicle which I would later inherit, listening to this song on the radio, and there was still a new car smell. So it was probably 72 or 73 that Lorelei came out. This is the earliest Styx release that I can recall. I think it's the earliest one that existed, actually, that was a hit of any kind. But yeah, nice and early. 74? What do we got, Steve? He's looking it up right now. If I was traveling...
76, recorded in 75.
76? That seems late to me, but... 8:23, Dixon Divining, Talk 995, talk995.com. You know what? Let's hurry up and just get into this, shall we?
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Yes, the Senate Homeland Security Committee voted to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt for his appearance before that panel last week at about this time. I think it was Wednesday of last week that he took the fifth 111 times, which would be in conflict with the pardon that he had received, the blanket pardon he got from Joe Biden. There was a ruling from the High Court, Supreme Court, back in 1896 that said, if you got pardoned, you don't get to stand on your Fifth Amendment rights when you're questioned by the government.
You did make a good point with the he's not trying to perjure himself either, and then that would be, pleading the fifth, I guess.
His real fear here wasn't so much the perjury as it was the embarrassment. Because if he had to go back and correct the record on all the things that he had said before, understanding that, look, the perjury that he did earlier when he sat there and said, no, this wasn't a lab leak, we know that. You knew the exact opposite. You knew it was a lab leak, but you sat there under oath and said, we know it's not a lab leak. Oh, I didn't fund gain of function. You knew for a fact you had funded gain of function. You absolutely funded gain of function, and under oath you said, no, we didn't, okay? These are the problems. This is the stuff that was really, there's a lot of scientific evidence behind the 6 feet of separation. No, there wasn't any at all. And he was writing this in his diary. He was telling his diary the truth the whole time, and he was lying to the Senate. He was lying to the American people. Now, could he have answered all of the questions legitimately and said, yeah, that whole 6 feet of separation thing was BS. We just made that up on the fly. Yeah, it did come out of a lab. It wasn't a wet market. That was a lie. Yeah, we did fund gain of function to a high degree, and yeah, that was a lie. But he would then have to be admitting that he had lied that whole time.
Right.
And he just wasn't willing to do that. He was not willing to sit down and explain to the American people that he had lied. His reputation would have been even worse, in more tatters than it is now. But it's pretty tattered. Yeah, this guy's 83, 84 years old. He's at the end of his career. He was supposed to be, the be-all, end-all, a hero. There's supposed to be statues erected to him in the town square. It's the Dark Knight. You either remain the hero or live long enough to see yourself, or you die the hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. And Anthony Fauci lived long enough to see himself become a villain. And most of America right now is looking very much askance at him and at anybody else who claims to be an expert in any field. I mean, he really screwed the pooch on that as well. Because now we sat and listened to this joker for 4 years. Oh, Anthony says this, Anthony says that. We'd better do this and that. And now when somebody comes forward and says, hey, listen, there's something fairly serious going on here, and I'm the expert on it, and I want to warn you guys, we'd all go, no, we're not listening. We don't care. Once again, we have the IRGC giving conflicting stories to what one would consider to be the government of Iran. You have two parallel tracks there, the IRGC, the Iranian Republican Guard, and then the government. The government is supposedly negotiating with the Trump administration, and the IRGC is coming out and saying, no, we're never going to stop pursuing a nuclear weapon. Well, we have a piece of paper that says you will. Well, I didn't sign it. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So this is why this war continues unabated, and I don't know. Are we living in 1984? We're at war with Oceania. We've always been at war with Oceania. Wait, did you read 1984?
I did.
You're the first person who sat in that chair who's read 1984. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I have somebody I can talk about with some pressure.
She stayed awake.
Yeah. What? No, it's a great book.
George Orwell's writing style is boring like watching paint dry.
Well, okay. I'll be honest with you. I actually did the audio book of
Okay.
it, so I didn't read it,
Okay.
but I know the words of it.
All right, you're in better shape than
Yes.
either Steve or Valerie. I bring up 1984, I get blank stares.
No.
It's very depressing. He loved Big Brother.
Oh God.
Uh,
And I listened to that. I think like during maybe 2020, 2021
oh, yeah.
when all the COVID.
We had a
and
lot of
all
free
the-
time.
Oh my God.
You had a lot of free
It
time.
was scary.
I understand.
The parallels were so scary.
It is. It's terrifying,
Yeah.
really. And that's the thing that gets me is, Winston Smith worked for the Department of Truth or the Ministry of Truth.
Ministry of Truth.
Right. And his job was to rewrite the historical articles that were not matching the way we believe today.
It's freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You really got to see it, read it, or listen to it as she did to get the idea. And then there's the story of ICE that detained the Alabama teen in the U.S. since he was in the U.S. since childhood, says AL.com. Oh no, what a nightmare! You got to get way, way, way down in the story to find out that he has been here for 3 years under a final order of removal due to failure to appear to his immigration hearings. So he's 19. He was here for 6 years. He got a final order of removal at the age of 16. Stayed, went to school, and now they're upset that, I can't believe they're trying to kick him out. Trying to kick him out? They tried to kick him out 3 years ago. He was supposed to go. He didn't leave.
I mean, he had to. I feel like he had to have done something because they're not just entering orders of removal for 16-year-olds. That how is he on anybody's radar? At
That's a fair
16?
question. That is a fair
So-
question. Well, we know that he got picked up recently during a traffic stop, and that's when they kind of checked his immigration status, and they were like, you ain't supposed to be here. And consequently, he is about to get booted. Look, you got to take the bad with the good, and you can say, well, this guy's not harming anybody. Well, you can say that. You can also say if he had left on his own or if his family had left on their own when they were supposed to, they could have turned around and come back legally. That was the deal.
Well, I'm saying like there's information missing because he was 16.
Right.
If
What
he was
happened?
just going to school and minding his own, he wouldn't be on anybody's radar as a
A
16-year-old.
fair assessment. 8:30, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5. And by the way, 3 years ago, Joe Biden was president, so
Yeah.
he got a final order of removal during the Biden presidency. Something to think about.
Is the song the question of the day?
$8:35. Dixon Divining, Talk 99.5, Talk995.com. K squared in for V squared today. Yeah. You have a middle name, don't you?
We talked about this on Thursday.
I forgot already.
Miranda.
This
That's
is
right.
Thursday.
That's right.
Or, I mean,
Today's
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Sorry,
It's all
yes.
blending together.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm doing very well to be like here and talking.
Well, I'm just glad that it doesn't start with a K because that'd be weird. But yeah.
No, like when I was married.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was.
Which is still my legal.
Technically.
Yeah.
Haven't got that changed yet, huh?
I can't come off my passport long enough to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I will after this trip.
I understand.
I'll change it after this trip.
I got you. Okay. Sure.
Wow, she's actually intelligent enough to get her identifications changed.
How could you possibly
Think about
do that?
that.
Yeah, no, I heard women aren't going to be able to vote if we pass the SAVE Act because they can't change their ID. Right. Aqua Systems, 383-3999. I'm giving you their number up front because I think it's important that you call, make an appointment for a no-obligation presentation. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes. You know, I had been doing commercials for Aqua Systems for quite some time, and I really wanted a system. But I lived in a rental house, and they're like, yeah, we don't really do rental houses. It's not a good idea. I said, okay, I get it. I got an interior, just a water cooler that I could use in my kitchen to get the best water humanly possible into my body and to cook with and all that good stuff. But when I did finally move into a house, I said, I want the entire package. I said, I already know I want the system. I want the presentation. And so I took time out of Scotty's life. Scott Pilkerton came over, and he gave me the entire presentation. It's about a half an hour, and it is quite astounding. When they test the water that's in the bottles in your refrigerator and you see it's really not much better than your tap water, you're like, hey, why am I paying all this money for this water that's really not very good? And then they test the stuff that comes out of your refrigerator door because you've got that filter in the fridge, right? That's supposed to make a difference. Oh, boy, it does not. It does not. The water that's coming out of your tap, the water that's in the bottles, the water that's coming out of the fridge door, they're all just equally bad. And then you test the Aqua Systems water and you see how pure and wonderful it is, and you say, I want that in my life. And what a difference it makes in your showering, in your cleaning, in your car washing. True. In everything you use water for, having the cleanest, bestest water on the planet is a game changer. So call and get the no-obligation presentation. No commission salespeople means no pressure. They let you, give you the information and let you make the decision yourself. And I think you'll make the right one once you've seen it. 383-3999. System start as low as $0 down, $60 a month. You can get 12 months same as cash. You'll love Aqua Systems water. I know I do. Some big changes. Oh, by the way, I want greatwater.com. Got to give you their website address as well. Some big changes coming for iPhone users in the Messages app. As an old person, I'm once again like, oh, what are you changing now?
I don't like any changes they ever put into effect.
Must you? Must you?
I hate every update Apple does to the iPhone. I'm sorry. Go on.
No, I'm with you. I agree wholeheartedly. They gave me one. This was, I don't know. It seems like almost a year ago, but it probably wasn't that long. Where your eyes would actually move it could like see your eyes and it would move the text for you while you were reading something. And it was the most annoying thing ever. I was like, don't do that. I had to go in and disable it.
Oh, thank God!
I
I
was like,
never I never experienced that because that sounds horrible. You
It
explaining
was
it.
horrible. It was horrible. I don't think they made a big deal out of it, and I think it sort of disappeared quietly after that because I think most people had the same experience I had, which was, this is not good.
No,
This is not
sounds
good.
terrible.
So here's what's supposedly going to be happening now. Their beta test is going on, and it's going to be iOS 27, released next month. One update adds one-tap suggestions for photos, emails, notes, and calendar updates based on a message. I already get calendar updates based on a message. I mean, if somebody says, hey, let's get together a Thursday, August 6th at 8:40 a.m., and I say, sounds good, my calendar will automatically go, do you want to add this to the calendar? So it's already there.
Mine doesn't do that. It will highlight the date to
Yeah.
where I can push it
Mm-hmm.
and add it to the
Take it
calendar
to the
if
calendar.
I choose to. It
Okay.
doesn't prompt me,
Mm.
and I like that.
Okay. How about send progress bar, a sending progress bar, so you can see how long it's taking for your little text to go through.
They already do that.
Well, then that's really not that new, is it?
No, that's not
Okay,
new.
not new at all.
Mm-mm.
This involves text change with non-iPhone users. Mm. Digital drawings. I don't know what that is. Am I supposed to, I can draw a picture and send it to somebody on text?
I don't know what that
Look,
is.
it's a duck. They sent you a picture of a duck. What do you think? Is it good?
I mean, I think you can do something like that. I guess they're just saying that you can do that with non-iPhone users now.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I use my phone for the most rudimentary stuff, but I have the high-end one because when Valerie's here, we shoot a video every single morning, and it looks crisp and clean because of the what have I got? The 17 Max Pro, something like that. I don't know. So whatever the newest one is. I went in to get like one step behind, one lower, because I usually buy the one that's right behind it because it's like they make it real cheap when the new one comes out.
Yeah.
So my plan was I was going to get that, and they were like, oh, no, the 17 is only this much. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, really? Okay. I'll take it. I'll get the newest, bestest one and not know how to use anything on it. Sad but true. I mean, there was a great Seinfeld episode where Jerry went and got everybody wizards, which back in the 90s was like a, it was a calculator. It was a texting device. It was a note-taking device. It was a Palm Pilot, essentially.
Okay.
Remember the Palm Pilot?
I do that, yeah.
Okay. Well, he bought his parents a wizard, and he paid like $250 for it. And his dad was real excited because he's like, did you buy this from a street vendor? Did you buy this off the street? He goes, yeah, $50. I paid a guy $50. We got to get more of these. He was running for condo board chairman, and he wanted to bribe everybody else with these things. He goes, go get me a dozen more. And Jerry's like, I'm going to go broke buying these things. He finally finds somebody on the street, and he buys, a dozen of these things. And later, first off, his father only refers to it as a tip calculator. He's like, oh, I got the tip calculator. This is great. I can figure out what the tip is going to be at dinner. He said, Dad, it does so much more than that.
Yeah.
Well, that's me, basically.
Yeah.
I'm like, I use the calculator. I use the phone. I use the calendar. I text. And I use social media in terms of things like X, Facebook, YouTube. This is about 1/10 of what the phone is capable of doing. It can do so much more than I use it for. And I don't care because I don't want to do any of those things.
My dad passed 2 years ago. He was 92 when he passed. He had a remarkable handle on the iPhone.
Really?
He really did. And the man was like the most expert emoji user and sender.
Wow.
It's crazy. I mean, it was crazy. My now 76-year-old mother, I still have to show her how to send an email. I have shown her, every other day for about the past 3-4 years how to send an email.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but it's funny what some people will. I'm kind of like you. I maybe use it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But-
The learning curve is steep for a guy like me. I miss when I had a 12-year-old daughter. I could bring a new phone home and just hand it to her and go, make this work for Daddy. And she would give half an hour later, she'd come back, here you go, all working, done, everything set up the way you want it. I was like, damn. Now they do that at the store,
Yeah.
and they do it so quickly, it's like a blink of an eye. I was hardly there for any time at all, and they just got it taken care of, bing, bang, boom. And it's all well and good, but again, if somebody actually sat me down and said, let me show you all the things your iPhone is capable of, my head might explode. I don't know. I use the notepad for, like grocery lists.
My best friend's saying that, my mother's going to get me. And I was like, she knows it's true.
Yes.
Sorry, Mom.
That is the problem with being on the radio and saying these things out loud. People hear you and they're kind of like, what? Is that what he really thinks of me?
Nothing I would not say, nothing I haven't said
Mhm.
to her.
To her face.
To her face.
Sure, I understand. Maybe next time you want to say something like to her, you should send her an email. See how it goes.
She can check her emails.
Oh, she knows how to check it. Okay. Hip it to the hip, hop, hop, stop, rock it to the bang, bang, boogie to up, jump the boogie to the boogie the beat. 8:51. Talk 99.5, talk995.com. The Sugar Hill Gang, one of the earliest in the rap genre. I think Blondie beat him to it with Rapture, right? That was
Just a little bit.
what
but
a
yeah,
horrible
they did.
song. What an absolutely atrocious song. Rapture.
You thought that was horrible?
I still think it's horrible.
Oh.
I thought it was horrible then. I think it's horrible now. You like it? You actually enjoyed Rapture, did you? Did you ever see the video on MTV?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, painful. Painful.
I like Blondie. I like.
Oh, I like Blondie too. I like The Tide is High. I like a lot of stuff they did. Rapture was not one of them. I had to play that. I was on the radio when they became a hit, and I was like, oh, why? No.
No, I liked it.
Okay. No accounting for taste, I guess. 8:51 with Dixon and Heidi. She's like, I'm not coming back tomorrow. If you're going to sit here and insult me.
Like,
Not
we've been
coming back.
friends for so long.
That's true. You should know.
That's
You should
over.
know me by now.
No, I mean, like,
Mhm.
my taste. Anyway, friends, whatever.
Perfectly understandable.
You.
Exactly. I would not want to be friends with somebody who would have someone like me as a friend. I can tell you that right now. I'm very concerned about you. And knowing you, I'm very concerned about me too, now that I think of it. Brian says, you must try those browns from Bojangles. They are crazy good. I'm going to be honest with you. I've had them twice. Both times they were underdone. And I don't know if it was that location or what the problem was,
You got 'em
but
twice from the same location.
yeah. And both times I was like, these are terrible. This is not a good hash brown. They were mealy almost. Ugh. But I will go try them from a different location since that one is now closed. It's over there by the remember the 24E Fitness you and I both used to belong to?
Me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Ellis Piano?
Yeah, right over there
Yeah,
by
yeah,
Ellis Piano. Yeah. She's
Yeah.
like, me? You're talking to me? Yes. Yes, you're
I
the only
forgot
other,
that I did.
you're the
yes.
person in the room.
Yes, I did have a membership there. I forgot
Are
about
you
that
still
for a minute.
technically
That's
a
true.
member?
No,
Okay, just checking.
hopefully
me
not.
neither.
I don't think so.
I pulled up one day and got out of the vehicle, the Ford Flex, and I hear, "Oh, give me a break." I turn around and she's standing there. I was like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I'm a member here. This is the other gym I belong to. You were so fit that you belonged to two gyms. You had only two. One gym could not contain you."
I was training with one girl
Yeah.
who paid for one membership,
Oh, gotcha.
and I think it was a different 24E, so I was able to use that one.
Oh,
too.
yeah, you can use them all if you're paying for.
And
the
then
right
I was
amount, yeah.
paying for but then I was paying for a different gym. So, yeah.
I used to love going there, 24E, because I could go there in the morning before I got to work. When I used to do middays here, it was easy. Getting the workout done before you spend the rest of your day, best possible life. You're living your best possible life. I get off the airwaves here. I do the things that need to be done that are on my list of check off of the other jobs that I have around here, and I am just exhausted. I'm like, ain't no gym in my future, man. It's me going
that
home to
takes-
lie down.
That takes waking up that much earlier.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
I'm drinking coffee.
Hey, Dixon, you're going to have to break off the diet. And when you go to Mickey D's for your Egg McMuffin, you've got to try their blueberry and cream cheese pie. Fatty approved, says Brian. Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. Mike says, add the verde salsa to the egg white grill, and it's a good, easy eat on the road breakfast. Salsa hangs in the muffin craters if you do it right. You've really thought this through, Mike. I like it. If you could get them to glue the egg white and chicken together with the cheese instead of laying it on the muffin, you could salsa two sides. Oh, that's good. Put the cheese between the chicken and the egg white. Then I want to put the salsa on the biscuits or on the muffins and make sure it dips into the craters and holds fast in there to make it really exactly perfect. At this point, you're kind of a pain at the drive-through window. They're like, don't come back here. We would prefer not to serve you any longer. Taylor says, y'all remember the Hershey's Gold Bar a few years back? I do. Why do you ask? We get some of the most random texts here. Orange slices. What? The jersey, just hang it on the wall, says Grant, talking about the Metal Arc Lemon jersey. Yeah, I probably could have done that. But it wasn't like an original Metal Arc Lemon jersey. It was just a knockoff.
That's kind of what I was thinking initially
Yeah.
until you said what it would like look like on you.
Yeah.
And the mental picture again, I can't lose it.
Mm-mm. Whatever time we stay on, just stop changing the clock, says Thomas. After a year or two, no one will think anything of it. I don't know. You have to appreciate how long it has taken for people to get used to Dixon and Vining in the morning. I mean, you occasionally still get people who are like, I miss Matt and Ani. Okay, they've been gone a long time. Ani longer than Matt. You're just going to have to let it go, people. I mean, people get hooked on something and they don't want to let it go anytime soon, so they continue to fret about its disappearance. So you can go ahead and change the time. 5, 6, 7 years from now, you're still going to have people going, I remember back when we used to move the clock back and forth. I miss those days. Okay. Susie says, this week's lineup of guest hosts is the best you've had in years. Well, thank you, Susie. I appreciate that. One guest host 3 times, and Matt once, and Spud once. We'll do it again next time Valerie leaves and takes off for any amount of time. We'll do the exact same thing to make Susie happy.
Thank you, Susie.
Catherine's like, I don't know if I want to do that. Let's see. You also have people that sell their SNAP cards for cash because the drug dealer doesn't take SNAP. Yes, in reference to the Chicago grocery stores and the fact that they're not getting as many SNAP sales. Well, if you can get 30% off your groceries and go in there, spend a little bit of money, and get the groceries that you need, then you can turn around and sell your SNAP card for 50% on the dollar, 50 cents on the dollar. I used to go outside my grocery store when I worked at a grocery store and watch this happen with food stamps. People would regularly sell food stamps to people outside the store, 50 cents on the dollar. They'd take their money, they'd go inside, they'd buy beer or cigarettes or whatever, and these guys would take the food stamps and go wherever they were going to go with them, I guess. I don't know. They didn't come into my store. Maybe Chicago should have subsidized the police department with $13 million to protect people from being robbed and protect the stores from being looted, says Sully. Okay. Good take on 1984 that Steve would like is the movie Equilibrium. Christian Bale and Sean Bean. Fantastic. It is an amazing movie. It is one of my favorite movies, Equilibrium. It's not really 1984. It's a world where they have done away with all emotions, and everybody has to take this injection every single day to control your emotions. And because emotions leads to uprising, leads to people wanting to take over the government and think they can do a better job, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you can kind of make people just be dull automatons, they're easy to control. And Christian Bale plays what they call a cleric, sort of a police officer, one of the guys in charge of keeping people in line and making sure that they're taking their daily dose. There's a big tower that sets off an alarm every 6 hours or so when you're supposed to dose yourself. And it's also an action film, which sounds strange, but you have to see it to believe it. It is one of the greatest dystopian future films you will ever see. And it is a closely guarded secret because I talk to people who love these sci-fi dystopian future films, and they're like, never heard of it. You've never heard of Equilibrium? It's fantastic.
When did it come out?
Oh, gosh, it probably about 20 years ago. It was well before The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Yeah. Gotta say...
2002.
2002. Happy birthday to E, our buddy Emir. He is turning... I think 3'6" today. So,
God bless.
happy birthday.
Happy birthday, E.
I don't know how old he is. But he's asking about whether butter should be in or out of the fridge. Out, of course. Gigi says, I had to show my birth certificate to get the Star ID, but on the Aaliyah website, it states a Star ID cannot be used as proof of citizenship. I know. Screwy, isn't it? You should see Sandra Bullock rapping that song on the Jonathan Ross show. She might just change your mind, Richard. No, the Sugar Hill Gang, absolutely. I saw her do it. I watched that video. I love Sandra Bullock. I like the way she raps. She's got soul. 9 o'clock, Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5.